I think Kickstarter could stick around. I think it'll just become like it seemed like everybody just went to Kickstarter and everybody threw money at it, and I think that people will become more discerning about it. I think gamers are gonna look and go, I spent how much on Kickstarter this year? Holy crap! Like, and not,
what did I get?
Yeah, and I haven't gotten anything for it, and I think they're going to be more discerning. Like, it just seemed like every week somebody was like, "Oh, I'm doing Kickstarter," and everyone's like, "Take my money!" Like, and that's not going to happen. I think going forward.
I actually backed the Kickstarter for the Shadowrun game because I know the only chance of getting a Shadowrun game on a console or a PC, a fully, fledged funded one is, the horrible version that Microsoft did several years ago. And this might be the great thing about Kickstarter is that we will see these games come back, and if they perform well with their sales, with their funding,
those developers
somebody will then pick them up because we know sequelitis is the #1 cause of joy amongst video game execs.
And there's going to be a developer that emerges that makes the next Minecraft from a Kickstarter project and are going to be highly
And those fans will keep coming back then. They'll
Right,
keep building
right.
games and they'll create their own sort of
Absolutely.
ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Giving great games to fans and make some good money on it too. Because they raise a certain amount of money with Kickstarter, those backers get it, but then when they put it on Steam or they put it online, they can make that much more. So there's a big upside, I think. Another trend this year, which seems to be happening in a bigger way, is a lot of big name developers leaving studios. And we have David Jaffe breaking out on his own. We have Cliffy B leaving Epic. We've got Greg and Ray from BioWare retiring. What do you guys make of all these sort of departures, which I think tends to happen often at the end of a console cycle where people are sort of eager to find something new, be energized in a new way. Is this a risk for some of the big publishers, do you think, Michael, that the talent is walking out the door?
Yeah, I do think so. And with the exception of Jaffe, all the rest of those guys are phenomenally wealthy. Right. So poor Jaffe. Jaffe's not wealthy, but we love him. Exactly. But yeah, I think people get fed up with the grind. And I think money is almost irrelevant to these creative people. I mean, I think that as long as they feel they're getting paid for their work, I don't think it matters if it's tens of millions or hundreds of thousands. They all are comfortable. And I think that some of them get fed up, working for a large monolithic organization. Some of them get fed up with whiny little prick gamer fans who say that everything they do sucks. And it's hard. It's hard for these guys to listen to that because honestly, I think they look at their games the way they look at their children. I mean, they're really proud of what they created and they see beauty and they're told constantly how crappy that everything is. And
the internet got a little angrier this year.
Well, really, it's got, and I think that goes back to sequelitis. I think our expectations are higher. I think that we rejoice less in an accomplishment because it's not that much better than the one before, and the internet never forgets. So the Mass Effect 3 ending, we couldn't control every aspect of it. Right. They didn't have 400 million permutations of endings. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And anybody who says that the two doctors didn't retire in part because they got tired of the whining is wrong. Those guys, they'd rather go do other things.
His letter is like, I lost my passion, and part of that I'm sure was fueled
you can't,
by...
and I hope this is a lesson for gamers. Don't kill these guys because they put in a lot of time and effort and blood and sweat to get you these games, and they're artists and they should be respected. And if they blow it occasionally, it doesn't matter. I mean, David Jaffe's really given us a lot of joy in his career, right. And he's made a couple of stinkers, calling all cars, okay. But I mean, let's not trash the guy because he might come up with another God of War. I mean,
absolutely.
Let's go back to this Mass Effect thing because I know we're going to have this conversation over and over. As somebody who played through Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 and completed them both and put a lot of time and effort in, and this was the Holy Grail. This was, you choose your finale, and but we were promised this. This was going to be tailored to what you've done over the previous two games. And you know what? Don't come out and say that if you can't deliver that. And I've got nothing but respect for Ray and Greg because they've contributed a huge amount to what I've loved in gaming over the last 10 years, probably even more. And I think them leaving is a horrible thing. I hope they go away, recharge, do their philanthropic thing, and then come back, which may happen. You never know. Maybe they'll go into mobile or whatever. But I mean, some of that Mass Effect stuff. I mean, yes, some of it was ridiculous and over the top. But I think we did have a sense, to be entitled to get the endings that we were promised after investing so much time. And I think, so that was deserved. Cliff, he just needs a break. I mean, and he's having his break. He's already enjoying himself, following his tweets around the world.
Traveling the world,
Cliffy's
meeting
world
with
tour.
studios.
And,
I didn't see Webbush on his tour, but
I had dinner with him last week.
oh, there you go. All right, there you go. All right.
I think a refreshed Cliff coming back to the industry and offering something new in 12, 18 months' time is not a bad thing. But we have the next level of gamers, game designers coming through. We do have Notch. We have Alex Hutchinson at Ubisoft. There are a lot of people coming through, and it's just a natural evolution.
I agree with you guys that I do think that the doctors left because of some of the things that were said. I think some of the people went over the top with it. I mean, filing a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission was just ridiculous. But I think it's also a matter of sort of coincidence. I think there was just a lot of people that sort of came to a point where they were like, hey, my contract is up, or like my new game is done, or whatever. Like, I need a break. I mean, how long has Cliff been working on Gears of War nonstop?
And hopefully I'm sure he's going to go off and create something really new and different and exciting.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. I expect him to be back. I expect a lot of these guys to be back. And if they don't come back, well, fine. You know what? Godspeed. Go off and do your beer thing.
Home brewing. All right, it's the future. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on the bonus round. We will see all you guys next week for an all-new episode of the bonus round as we count down to the 2012 Video Game Awards, which are going to be live right here on GameTrailers on Friday, December the 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. See you next week.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.